What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live, Coach Dan, by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it is Lions Talk Live. It is a Wednesday morning show edition, and you know what? We've got yet another different bit of conversations about this particular player, might sign with the team, yada, yada, everything in between. This one I do think has some real validity to it because, as you can probably tell from today's thumbnail, we all have been aware for about, 2 or 3 weeks now that Alex Anzalone wants a new deal. Sounds like the Lions aren't happy that Alex Anzalone went to the media or social media, however you want to term it, and talked about it. And yes, the Lions have not really offered any kind of inside information or any kind of response about whether or not they're going to re-sign the 30/31-year-old linebacker to a new deal beyond this one. Let's also remember the Lions took some flack when they first signed Alex Anzalone. Then some fans were not happy with him when they re-signed him. Now everybody seems to love him, and I get it. He's a great player. He's done a lot of good stuff. We're going to break this down a little bit more during the main topic today, but as you can probably tell, the Lions are rumored to be bringing in a recently, as of yesterday, released linebacker. He may not be a gold jacket guy, but he's a pretty dang good guy. And yes, if maybe perhaps Alex Anzalone can't work out some sort of common ground with the Detroit Lions, we might be looking at Jermaine Pratt signing with the Detroit Lions, and I wouldn't be upset if this happens. If I would rather have Alex Anzalone just work out a deal with the Lions, but if that can't happen, if both sides can't coexist, then we might be looking at a change in the linebacking core for the Detroit Lions. All right, before we get into the 5 headlines now, before we get into the main topic of the day and everything in between, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that march for 13,900 subs. We're about 70 or so subs away from that, so if you can assist with that, that would be great. Also, if you have a half second of time, it doesn't cost a dime. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons. We try to get every episode of the show between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. And as you probably know, if you watch YouTube for a hot second, the more interactions you get on YouTube, whether it's comments, likes, shares, whatever, it just helps that particular channel grow exponentially. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. We can have a quick conversation, see what I can do to save you some time, save you some money, save you some hassle, save you all of the things above, make sure nobody overcharged you, etc. Get the property listed. It can be commercial property, rental units. It can be a new home. It can be vacant land. I don't know. It can be a spot on the moon for whatever you really need. Give me a call or shoot me a text. We'll go from there. All right, all that done, set out of the way. Let's get this show rocking and rolling and going, and let's get into 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines now coming your way as we go to the top of the screen. Here we go. Detroit Lions 2025 June dead cap update. A look at the Lions' current dead cap situation by Christian Bohr, SI.com. Not going to spend a lot of time on this just because we kind of talked about the cap a bit yesterday. But in regards to June 1st, are there really any kind of cut candidates for the Lions that would save them some money? I Scooby-Dooed, read through this, tried to go to overthecap.com, and I think the Lions are actually in a pretty good spot with stuff. The biggest dead cap hit they currently have is Carlton Davis. When the Lions traded for Davis last offseason, they restructured his contract to mitigate his cap hit, which that was $14.5 million, the salary that he had at that point. Because of this, they will pay, we'll just round up and say $10 million in 2025 as dead cap money. to the now New England Patriots cornerback. There's a couple other guys on there. Cam Sutton, if you guys remember him, his situation. Lions are still on the hook for $6.54 million in dead cap money for him. Other than that, the Lions are actually in a pretty good dead cap spot. They have a total of just under $22 million. And yes, while that sounds like a lot, the Lions are near the bottom of the NFL when it comes to dead cap money. So come next year, they should have significantly less unless something unforeseen changes between now and then. Detroit takes we'll round up slightly and say $3 million dead cap hit for releasing Jalen Reeves-Maybin and a $2 million dead cap for Marcus Davenport. Yes, it is. Even with his restructured contract, etc., Davenport is going to have that kind of effect on the books. Now, many of you have been asking about Frank the Tank Ragnow. Ragnow's retirement expected to be a similar post-June 1 cut. Lions are slated to take on $4.8 million of dead cap money in addition to the $9.25 million in savings. So you are going to, if you're the Detroit Lions, you're going to free up do the math here, around $4.5 million with that transaction. Additionally, Lions will see a $3.6 million dead cap hit in 2026 for Frank Ragnow, with we'll round up and say $13 million cap savings overall with Frank Ragnow retiring. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. 4 winners, 5 losers from Detroit Lions OTAs. Who grew and who didn't practice at all? A to Z Sports, Mike Payton with this one. Again, probably not a big burning one. OTAs, you guys know, have been over for getting close to a week now or 5 days, whatever it is. But, hey, you got a lot of people that say there are winners. There are some losers. One of the bigger winners you're hearing across Detroit-based media from guys watching, and you've had some players there talk about it. One of them will say it right now, Enos Rakestraw, the rookie last year. You all know the story. For those who don't, when the Lions drafted this guy, he had some injuries, and that came from even when he was at the scouting combine, he had an abdominal tear or pull or whatever you want to say, plus a hamstring injury. And we all know it last year. He had some, good stuff in training camp, but those injuries kind of nagged, and hamstring injuries, if you don't allow them to heal, especially for someone like a cornerback or a wide receiver, they can nag on, and they did eventually shut him down later in the year. Rakestraw, though, looked like he was real good, really developed. You heard Dan Campbell talk about it to the media during his pressers. And, the expectations are tempered from Dan Campbell. What coach wouldn't temper him? But it does sound like Rakestraw. A lot of people a year ago were saying, man, this guy must be a bust. You got to give players some time. I would say probably 98% of rookies really don't come in and do a whole lot unless the team around them is terrible as a rookie. Rakestraw, though, he's turning some heads in camp. We'll see if it translates to the preseason and the regular season. This next person on the list, no big surprise, because everybody, I don't care what national media correspondent you're with, Jameson Williams has been rumored, and everybody's saying it. He's taken another step forward. You saw a step forward last year. You're seeing more steps forwards this year. And it does sound like J-Mo might be in. We all get it. He wants to get probably unpaid like a number 1 wide receiver when his rookie deal expires. There's every bit of evidence out there. Detroit Lions are going to be incredibly blessed offensively this year with 2 number 1 wide receivers, Jameson Williams being one of them, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown, as we all know. J-Mo, though, he's been lighting people up, and I don't care where you look across ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, or whoever else's sports, Jameson Williams is expected, and you're seeing this, stated in Vegas from betting odds and stuff like that. Jameson Williams is expected to have a breakout year. Now, does that mean 1,000 yards, 12,000 yards, 2 gajillion million yards this year? I don't know, but I think we're all going to be very grateful he is a Detroit Lion. Next one on the list, Dan Campbell talked about him quite a bit, talked about him playing multiple spots on the defense. That's Avonte Maddox. Hey, he probably wasn't the biggest free agent signing for the Detroit Lions when he brought him in. Probably most fans were like, okay, we got more depth in the secondary. Great. But Maddox, he didn't get the memo that he's just supposed to be a depth piece. He's playing his butt off, and you heard Dan Campbell talk about him his pressers with the media, said that he's going to be playing safety, maybe some slot corner or other stuff like that. The Lions, we've all been wanting to know, what are we going to do for depth at the safety spot? We get it. We've got the 2 best safeties in the NFL as far as combo. And yes, Maddox is going to get on the field. Dan Campbell kind of alluded to it. I guess we could say that Maddox might be taking over the Ife Melifonwu spot. And with his size, his athleticism, that might not be a bad thing. All right, last of the winners here, Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, he had a huge setback last year with a broken leg. Everybody in the world wants to know if he's going to return to speed, return to form, all that kind of stuff. Here's what we can say. He looks pretty dang good, or looked pretty dang good out in OTAs. You're seeing he's getting the strength back, the explosion back, etc. You can see just looking at the legs, they're no longer, one is pretty thick, the other one looks pretty thin, and anybody who's ever broken a leg or a ligament knows what I'm talking about. The muscle shrinks, you got apathy just from lack of use. You know what? You can't really tell that so much anymore with Aiden Hutchinson. You give him another 2 months or so, 3 months before the season, he's probably going to be real good shape by then. All right, real quick, we'll go through the losers here. Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. You know, you wanted to hear something out of OTAs that one guy was starting to separate. Doesn't look like that's the case. These guys might be in a battle for the backup spot when preseason comes along. I'm rooting for Hendon Hooker just because we draft him. He's got a lot of potential. The kid's been through a lot too. It's hard not to have, consider him like a Rocky Balboa stuff. Losers, health. Per Dan Campbell, the following players were either out or limited during OTAs. And there's a list here. Let's see, defensive lineman, Miles Adams, Broderick Martin, who needs to be on the field as much as possible. In my opinion, Aleem McNeil, we all know he's going to be out for a while. Levi Onwuzurike, keep him out, keep him as healthy as possible. In my opinion, keep that back going. Josh Pascal, talk about somebody playing for his Detroit Lions life here. I think Pascal is on the block there. DJ Reader, not a big surprise, veteran. Campbell typically kind of gives veterans a lot of rest, and he is a veteran. Defensive lineman Tyleik Williams, the rookie, we get it. They're letting that hamstring rest. They do not want something to happen like happened last year with Rakestraw. Mekhi Wingo, not a surprise there. He's got the ACL injury. He's going to be resting for a while. Derek Barnes, trying to get him healthy from last year's knee injury. I get that part. Linebacker Jack Campbell, man, he's out there in a walker basically because, as you guys know, he had hip surgery, cleanup surgery. But again, give him all the opportunity to get ready for September, at least in my opinion. Linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez, he's got the torn ACL. He's going to be out for a while. Terrion Arnold, I'm not sure why on Arnold. Maybe I missed something. If you guys know why, throw it in the comments section. Brian Branch, he had a lot of nicks and knacks last year. They're trying to keep him healthy. Kalia Dorsey, had that gruesome injury. We get why he's probably, being given some time to rest. Gavin Holmes, cornerback, I'm not sure on him. Why? Just that he is out. Lions special assistant and president, CEO, and chairperson Chris Spielman, man, he was injured too. Don't forget he's recovering from some, I don't remember what his surgery was, but I think that's more of a funny joke having him on the list. Miles Frazier, let's see, tight end Kenny Yarbrough, wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, we know he had some cleanup surgery. Isaac Tesla, kind of the same thing. David Montgomery, he also had some situations addressed. Sion Vaki, former Lions running back Barry Sanders, and Kelvin Johnson were also not allowed to practice, and yes, that is a joke. All right, that was a real long one. Let's go to the next of the 5 glorious headlines now. Come on down, click. All right, former Lion Zadarius Smith, well-known girlfriend, turned heads at BET Awards, red carpet, A to Z Sports, Nick Meyer. So there were about 3 gajillion billion of you guys that messaged me on Facebook or shot me text yesterday. Everybody and the mother was talking about it because Zadarius Smith didn't just talk to the media once, didn't just talk to the media twice. He was on like 3 or 4 different outlets yesterday talking about he thinks he's close to return with the Detroit Lions. And if I would have had more time yesterday, I probably would have put up like a 3 or 5 minute video on it. I was like, we'll save it for the morning show. Is he going to return to the Detroit Lions? There's nothing confirmed yet, but for those who missed all that yesterday, just go ahead and Google it, search it, Zadarius Smith or whatever you want to put in there. But Athlon Sports and everybody else put it up there. You can find the video, and no, I'm not going to play it because I don't want YouTube to yell and scream at me. But you can find multiple different videos. I do want to say that the first person to get it over to me was Hutch Jr. or Mike Kipp, or you got in touch with me, send it over to me. I just didn't have time. My brother Tim got me something on it. I want to say a bunch of you guys got it over to me. But if you take Zadarius Smith at his word in each of those 4 or 5 different interviews, and they're not all at the BET Awards, but he does repeatedly answer reporters saying, when is he going to return to the Detroit Lions? Soon. So we've all been speculating for some time that he just wanted the summer off. Brad Holmes came out, I don't know, a month ago and said, hey, we put an offer in front of Zadarius Smith. Now it's up to him to take it. It would be my personal opinion. There's nothing corroborating it, that probably both sides at that point, when Brad Holmes offered him a contract, he probably told Brad Holmes up front, Zadarius Smith probably told Brad Holmes up front, hey, I'm going to sign with you guys. Unless somebody makes me an offer I can't refuse, but I'm going to take June off. I'll see you in July. And probably my guess would be, based on all the guys that didn't have to work out or go through OTAs for the Detroit Lions, probably Dan Campbell overall would have been okay with it. Dan Campbell does have a long track record. If you're a veteran player, he's going to nursemaid you, take care of you, make sure that you're fully good to go by the time training camp hits or the preseason games and regular season games. So that would kind of confirm that and kind of keep things in place with his norms, with Dan Campbell's norms. So we'll wait and see what shakes out. But I think we all agree it's probably looking more and more likely Zadarius Smith is going to return to be a Detroit Lion. All right, Mark Wahlberg did not hesitate to give his 2025-26 Detroit Lions prediction. Athlon Sports story by Nikki Meyer. For those who didn't know this, it's probably been like 10 years ago now that one of the Transformer movies was filmed in roughly Detroit and a couple other parts of Michigan. By the way, you can find me as Lab Coat Guy number 5 in that movie, no joke, for about 20 seconds. Mark Wahlberg is a Boston native, Boston fan, but during his time here in Detroit filming that Transformer movie, he became a Detroit Lions fan, it would appear. And talking to reporters yesterday, they did ask about his thoughts about the Detroit Lions. Yes, he is a New England Patriot fan, probably first and foremost, but he does root for the Lions. Talked about it, and he gave up his thoughts. He thinks the Lions are basically going to be the number one team in the NFC, going to win the NFC North again. Would love to play Dan Campbell in a movie. He said it's time to be able to play or perform as an athlete in a movie, especially if the NFL level is probably past him. He's getting a little bit older. But Marky Mark, if you remember him as the rapper Marky Mark, he had a lot of good things to say about MCDC, Detroit Lions, and how he's rooting for them to reach the promised land. Does want to see his team make it first, but if they don't make it, he's going to be rooting on the Detroit Lions through and through. Good for Marky Mark for supporting the Detroit Lions. All right, why controversial Lions rookie will surprise doubters. Last word on sports, story by Sue Levine. So if you look back at this past draft, you probably know who this story is about. And yes, if you said Isaac Tesla, you were dead right. He's probably the most controversial pick out there. I remember when he was drafted, you had everybody on media, whether it was Detroit Lions-based media or whoever else's media. Maybe I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people jumping up and down, screaming, Lions should have done something else. They should have drafted this guy, should have traded for that guy, should have drafted this position, that position. You guys get it. But you know what we're also hearing is there's more and more, I guess, support now, a month or 2 months later, for Isaac Tesla. We're probably starting to understand the plan of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell more with this pick and with some of the other picks that came later, some of the other signings that seem to be lining up in place for the Detroit Lions. It is looking like they knew or had a plan what they were going to do and how they're going to do it, how they're going to achieve the depth overall on this team. I have no idea what's going to happen with Isaac Tesla, but as Sue Levine puts out here amongst other reporters, they just seem to say, based on rookie OTAs and what they know of his progression so far, plus it does appear Tesla has hired a couple former NFL wide receivers to work with him on starting to develop his skills sooner versus later. If this kid really pans out, then you know what? He's going to have a huge cheering section in Ford Field for him because he is a Michigan kid. He's homegrown, whatever you want to say. He's big, he's fast, he's strong. I think he's got a lot of upside. But me, just from a coaching standpoint, as we were talking about with Enos Rakestraw, most rookies don't come in and do much. You guys have heard me say it before. All the years I covered the Detroit Lions on a full-time basis or near full-time basis, there's very few rookies that come in and do much at the wide receiver spot. Even the great ones, Herman Moore, Calvin Johnson, Robert Clark, if you guys remember him. It took a while for them to figure it out. Now, my personal opinion is you get halfway through the season, that's where you probably start seeing him pick it up. It doesn't mean he's going to have 40 touchdowns or even 40 receptions, but he's probably going to have some impact the last half of the season or second half of the season. All right, all that done, out of the way, let's get the show over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. Alex Anzalone, it does appear, if you take him at his word, he's less than happy he doesn't have a contract extension from the Detroit Lions. I am not here to say he should have one. I'm not here to say he shouldn't have one. Here's what I'd say. He's a Detroit Lion. He's been a Lion through and through for several years now. He has helped turn this franchise around. He has proven his value, proven his worth, proven that he might not be the NFL's best linebacker. He might not be a top 10 NFL linebacker. Who knows? Maybe not even top 15. But he probably is a top 7, maybe 5 coverage linebacker in the NFL. And that says something. We all get the Lions had 40 gajillion billion people hurt on defense last year. Why didn't we make the NFC Championship game? Why didn't we make the Super Bowl? Well, when you've got guys playing defense that don't even know each other's names on a weekly basis because there are so many injuries, it slows you down. Now, for everybody that was kind of an Alex Anzalone fencer, so you didn't love him, you didn't hate him, he did prove his value as soon as he came back from his injury from the broken arm. You can see the coverage units from the linebacking core for the Detroit Lions went up exponentially. Just a week or two prior, we played the Buffalo Bills, and I can't even remember the kid's name. Running back we cut, I want to say in training camp or something like that, lit us up for like 4,000 yards receiving on the first drive of the game, and then continued to repeat that throughout the game. Alex Anzalone came back. He saw running backs be less effective, tight ends be less effective. To some extent, maybe even number 4 or 5 wide receivers, although that's probably no linebacker's business going out there and guarding wide receivers. But Alex Anzalone cemented himself as being incredibly valuable in probably just about any NFL defensive scheme from a coverage standpoint. Now, for those who also don't know, yesterday, and maybe you could say this move was predicated before, knew it was going to happen, but for whatever reason, the Cincinnati Bengals did release Jermaine Pratt. Pratt, if you don't know him because you don't follow the Cincinnati Bengals, hey, man, he has been in the NFL 6 years. He started 88 of 96 career appearances, including all 17 games of the last 2 seasons. So we talk about all the time. I know some of you will say availability is your number one ability in the NFL, and you're right. The fact that he's consistently out there and playing, and he was a team captain for the Bengals, that speaks volumes for the type of guy he is. He also surpassed 100 combined tackles in each campaign of the last few years. In fact, in 2024, he logged 143 combined tackles, 80 solos with 2 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. And this kid's a free agent right now. Yes, the Lions have rumored to be bringing him in for a conversation. This is something I had to learn, early on in coaching, is that if you're, I'm just going to try to think of something. If you're Barry Sanders, you're Calvin Johnson, you can probably get away with things most other people can't, especially when it comes to contract negotiations, because you're incredibly rare. You can't replicate those dudes in a science lab. You can't, they're supermen among the humans. Alex Anzalone, is he that rare? I don't know. He's dang good at pass coverage, but overall, on a scale to 110, 10 being, man, you are a Hall of Famer, 9, you're a Pro Bowler, 1, why are you even in the NFL? Where would you rank Alex Anzalone? My opinion, he's an 8. He's dang good. He's not an All-Pro. He's not an All-World Hall of Famer, but he's just a notch below that. He can do a whole lot of good things. You want him on your team. He makes your team better. He is an inspiration to a lot of the players on the team, and let alone the community. And I think he's a good, solid human being all around. But if he's willing to, and he hasn't said anything about, hey, I'm going to hold out or anything. Alex Anzalone hasn't done that. Really, all he's done so far is, hey, Trey Hendrickson, I think you deserve a new deal. You should go get it. And I think he said it about another NFL player who's got a contract negotiation. And the only other thing, Alex Anzalone, that I'm aware of, maybe I missed something, is that he's done is, hey, social media, I want a new contract. I think I deserve one. Yes, I'm taking down all my Lions gear in the background or whatever. Is that really that egregious? Probably not in today's day and age. I would not encourage it, by the way, but it's also not the worst thing out there. Either way, one thing I would say is the Lions are probably doing their best due diligence by bringing in Pratt, because Pratt is, I want to say he's 29 years old. He's 6'3". He does move well, sideline to sideline. I don't know him nearly as well as I know Lions players, but hey, doing what everybody does. You go on YouTube or Twitch or wherever, try to check out some videos. You can see a lot of different things on him. I would say the Lions more than likely have done their due diligence and know way more about him than you, me, or anybody in between. If Alex Anzalone is going to potentially play disgruntled or hold out, and I want to again reiterate, he's never once mentioned he's going to hold out. He's missed OTAs, and that's not incredibly uncommon for veteran players of his stature. We just went through about 20 people who were at OTAs but didn't perform or whatever else. So what do you do if you're the Detroit Lions? Do you kind of hedge your bets? Best I could find, the Bengals are on the hook, or his remaining contract for Jermaine Pratt is about $5.5 million. So if the Lions bring him in, you're probably looking around that number to acquire him this year. That's pretty dang cheap when you look at those numbers, at least in my opinion. Lions have already signed one linebacker this offseason, Zach Cunningham, who at his peak in his NFL's, he was a pretty good leader in tackles, could stop the run. We've talked about him before. I don't think he can guard the pass well at all. Pratt, on the other hand, I don't know if he's Alex Anzalone good at defending the pass, but he is pretty good. Like I said, he got a couple interceptions and etc. You watch him drop into zone coverage, he's not bad. I haven't watched enough to have an opinion on his man-to-man coverage skills. What do you do if the Detroit Lions? Do you hedge your bets and say, hey, Alex Anzalone, get on in here, or we got to sign this guy? Do you sign this guy anyways, since you have $40 million in available cap space, and now you've got arguably 4 real good quality NFL linebackers you could rotate? Maybe you play Derek Barnes a little bit more at defensive end, rushing the quarterback. I don't know. But if you're Brad Holmes right here today, this guy just hit free agency, Jermaine Pratt. You're bringing him in to kick the tires on him. Do you let him leave Detroit without a contract? Do you sign him? If it's me, myself, and I'm signing this dude right away. Why? You got depth. You got flexibility. He's a team captain. He's a good locker room presence. I haven't found anybody saying anything bad about him or his mama. But what say you do, crew? What do you do? If nothing else, if somebody wants to hold out, and nobody has said they're going to hold out, but you've bought yourself some insurance, and I'd grab him if it was me now while he's available, and not find out there's a problem later on in training camp where maybe somebody isn't available or hurt, and now you don't have Jermaine Pratt to sign because he signed somewhere else. All right, I've talked about the 5 headlines down the main topic of the day. A little long here, so let's go over the Duke Crew comment sections. Power through. We got about 33 minutes until I got to get to work, so let's get through it. All right, Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan, and Duke Crew fam. Woo! And back at you, Bo. Good morning, Duke Crew. And any and all consideration is due diligence by Brad Holmes. Woo! I agree with you, Bo, 100%. Kick some tires, do what you got to do. Brad Holmes, we all get it. He's always trying to improve the team. Gary, creating the strike force that will stand the test of time. I'm down with that. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. The downside for most pro athletes is thinking we are irreplaceable. I've watched this same situation play out with many teammates back in the day. Man, I wonder who you're talking about. No, I'm not going to get into an air, but yes, you did have a teammate that probably thought they could not be replaced, and that didn't work well for them. All right, Trim Reaper, happy hump day, coach and crew. Exclamation point. Woo! And same to you. Bo, Stephanie, ain't it amazing how ego and ability tend to go step and step? Agreed. Gunny, making the 53-man roster and 16-man practice squad will be extremely hard, especially with new coaches. I agree with that. This is going to be a dang stacked team, whether it's just your 53 or the practice squad. You're going to have a whole lot of good players out there. Trey, what's good, Duke Crew? Question mark. I wouldn't be mad if we sign Pratt. It does sound like several teams want him. From what I could find, that is true. Why did the Bengals cut him? I'm not sure, man. I really don't know. I know they drafted some backers and stuff. Maybe that's it. They want to get younger or something there. But his contract is not big by any stretch of the imagination. Trim Raver, how's the training going, Stephanie? Hope you are doing great, and hopefully it is. Gary, Stephanie Weiler, aging is the part of life no one escapes. Correct with that. I feel that every day. Silver, good morning, coach, and anyone. Same to you. Answer 14, good to see you, man. It's been a hot second. Greetings, salutations, Coach Duke. The depth of this team is rarely seen. A masterful job of assembling talent and coaching that talent up. We are bearing witness to the best Lions times. Oh, yeah, I'm down with that. And yes, I think we've all agreed. This team is going to be pretty fun to watch. Stephanie, it is, Bo. We all think we are worth more. That the hard part is most athletes just that rare whereabouts we can hold out. Yeah, you can. A lot of people, I mean, I'll put it this way. The guy at the end of a NFL bench who doesn't even play is closer to being Joe Montana or Patrick Mahomes than everybody out here watching. They're just that good. It's tough to making a team, but the problem is there's so many people that kind of fall into that. I'm fairly good at as good as the 53rd person on the NFL team or the 20th person. You start getting the top, 10, 15, 20 people on the NFL team. They're typically pretty rare. All right, Pierce, somehow Davenport did it. Yes, indeed. DDI says, Bo. Moonscar Blade, hey, it's been a hot second, my friend. Good morning, Duke Crew. Starting lineup, exclamation point. Way to go, Lady Red Wolves, exclamation point. On to the Final Four at MSU Thursday. Tough matchup ahead. Coach's starting backcourt makes up 50% of the outfield. Woo! So for those who don't know, and I'm sure most of you know, I coach currently high school basketball. And yes, the school I coach at, Pawpaw, their softball team, man, it was a great game. They got up 3-1. Then it became 3-3. Then it became, it was 3-3. And then bottom of the seventh, they hit the winning run to win 4-3 and win the quarterfinals. That means they're now a part of the Final Four. Congrats, Red Wolves. Let's go get it. All right, Trim Reaper, thank you, Davenport, for all you do. Man, he's the hardest working guy out in Lions land right now. Bo, good to hear from you. Moonscar, yes, he's been gone for about a week, I think. So maybe, I don't know. I didn't hear back from him. Just great salutations, Duke Crew. I like Alex, but if the guy wants something he can't get, he's going to have to face that fact. Play his butt off this season and see if the team rewards him. You sign the contract. Yeah, I get both sides of the argument. Sometimes you outperform your contract. Sometimes, the team says, hey, you signed the contract. I'm not here to say which way to go with it. The only thing I can say is if the team isn't willing to budge, are you willing to sit out and forego 1 year of your playing career to try to get a new contract to prove a point? The only problem I have is he's 30, 31 when the season starts. Man, you only have so many seasons left. Take that money, young man, invest it, do something good with it, protect your family. Pierce, Trim Reaper, there you go. Silver, enough being cheap, re-sign Anzalone. There is only one thing I don't understand. Why the heck did he go public with it? Good question. I don't use socials. You fellows tell me, did he really openly complain? From what I know, Silver, he didn't do anything verbally. He didn't bash Lions, talking poorly about Brad or anybody like that. He took down all of his Lions stuff in his social media, which is a form of conversation. But it's not like he came out and said something bad. Maybe I missed it. Maybe he did something, but I'm not aware of it. How about that? France, I don't care. I don't care if we sign Pratt or reward Alex. Just make a choice. Camp is a month away. Yeah, get it. Don't let it be a distraction for the team. I get where you're going with that. Pierce Silver, I haven't seen anything that he has gone public with this. Correct with that. Like I said, taking stuff down, but there's a whole lot worse than that. Marcus, good morning. Dan Tarkison and Duke Crew. All right, I'll go with that. Thank you. Go Tigers. Tigers, man, they're having one heck of a season. Pierce, the leak was Mad Barnes is making more than him. Could be, yeah, and I get that everybody likes to get paid. Everybody likes to say, hey, we're on the same level or whatever, but at the end of the day, if the team makes the choice, they make the choice. Clark Griswold, why re-sign Alex Silver? He broke a big team standard by going public. He did kind of ish, but in some ways you could say he didn't, but I get your point. He is good, but if Holmes doesn't think Alex should be resigned, I'm going with that. That's the interesting part. If the team doesn't think he should get an extension, they're never going to tell us why, but we would probably all want to sit back and try to be as analytical as possible and see if we could Scooby-Doo why they didn't want to resign him. But really, is AA holding out? Not that I'm aware of. Ant-Man said it yesterday. It's not a holdout until training camp. Correct. We're on the same page there, Bo. He hasn't come out and said anything. He hasn't said he's going to hold out. Nothing like that. Unless I've missed it. I mean, if you guys are aware of it, let us all know. So right now he's missed OTAs, but that's not that uncommon. Man Barrett, good morning all. Good morning to you too. Moonscar, thanks, Bo. All is good. Thank you, Hookadoo. For asking about me, super busy at work with multiple difficult jobs and too many hours, plus other responsibilities at home have been piling up. Hey, man, it happens, man. Sometimes you got to do that stuff, right? Silver, Stephanie, some are irreplaceable, like Barry Anzalone, question mark, still love him and wish him here. And by the way, let them all go, 100%. Yeah, Barry, probably irreplaceable. Calvin Johnson, irreplaceable. I'd even say Ndamukong Suh or Robert Porcher. I mean, we get it. But they're the rare ones. Most pro athletes, like most human beings, we're kind of all clones of each other. Man Bear, good morning. Yes, I got where you're going with that. At least I thought. Pierce, Bo, I consider it a holdout when someone misses mandatory camp. That could be the other side of the argument, for sure, 100%. Tori, I hope both sides can work it out. If not, get someone else signed fast. Don't play around. Yeah, don't mess around. Don't let it drag on. Every team handles it differently. Some go Gestapo. Hey, here's the line in the sand. You're either going to be here or you're not. If you're not going to be here, we're going to shelf you. Other people are more flexible. So far, it seems like they've been a little flexible. Kerry, he did what any player would do in his situation, sit out OTAs. He hasn't been publicly talking about it. Correct. Correct. All right. Thank you for that, Kerry. Silver. So Pierce says no public. Clark says Anzalone did go public. That's a way to clear me a dilemma. Yeah. And it just is what it is. I think it comes down, how about this, Silver, to your personal interpretation of what he's done so far. Drake, Pratt cheaper than Alex? It does sound like it. Not by a ton, but some. If he is, another reason Anzalone might be overstepping his value. Yeah, you might be thinking you're worth something, but then in this situation, someone like Jermaine Pratt becomes available and is slightly cheaper. Hey, maybe your value isn't the same as you thought. I'll put it this way, like using it in a car housing, framework. Somebody lists their car for sale. It's the same as your car. You think your car is worth this amount, but they're willing to take that amount for it. Well, what does the buyer do? They probably go with the cheaper version of the car, assuming everything's the same. Silver, can Pratt cover? Yeah, I think he can. I don't know if he's good as Alex, but I think he's got some abilities. Yes. Big Dads, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew! Exclamation point. Hope we get rid of the AA contract problem soon. Me too, man. Oh, yeah. Figure it out one way or the other and move forward. Susan, anyone see Z at the BET Awards? He said he is resigning soon with the team. Yeah, I did see something about that. Was it BT's? I don't know, but it's something like that. But some sort of award ceremony, red carpet. And yeah, he was there talking with them. And then there was like 3 or 4 other outlets he talked to. I don't think they were all related to the same content. Okay, glad to have you back, Moonscar. I had noticed you hadn't been in the chat, and I know Dan knows you outside Lions Talk Live. Glad you're okay. Grit wins. Hey, sometimes we all got to work and stay busy. Moonscar, thumbs up and pow. I'm down with that. Big Daz, glad to hear about Z Smith wanting to sign. Hurry up, please. My guess is if this is all accurate, what he's saying, probably this time next month or right around there, you probably got him back. 5 Fingers, we talked about Z wanting the summer off for a bit. Sounds like, according to him, he will be back. Agreed. Silver, okay, Gary says no public. At this point, I can say Anzalone will be the captain next season. We'll get a 1-year extension with a big chunk of guaranteed money. Could be. Yeah, we'll find out what the team has planned. I hope that's true. I would love to see Z back in the D. I read yesterday Hendrickson signed an extension in Cincinnati. Not that I've seen. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed it. But when I was looking for the Pratt news or whatever, I saw something about the contract becoming a distraction to the team. But maybe I missed it where he did sign. Bo, I think most veterans want summers off. I would agree with that, to keep the body fresh. So Smoke, Coach, I found an article about you online yesterday. Dang, man, how long have you been coaching? You aren't that old, are you? 35 seasons now. 35 years I've been coaching, and I'm in my, I'm closing in on 53. How about that? Amy, good morning. Dan, the Duke Crew, exclamation point. I don't want to see AA go, but who knows how this will turn out. I don't want to see Z go either. Guess I am not fond of change. Exclamation point. Unless it's in my walk. Hey, there you go. I think what we can say was Za'Darius and Alex. They both become fan favorites, and nobody wants to see a fan favorite leave. What can we do? Yes, they are just big kids, Bo. Just want the summer vacation. Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Get it if you can. Moonscar, for the record, in case you all didn't know, Alex was not at OTAs last season either. He knows our defense and has earned the right to spend time with family. He is trusted, yeah. And if the coaches don't have a problem with it, if the front office doesn't have a problem with it, just, hey, let it keep going. Quitting, greetings, salutations, Dooku. I don't want no news on, I don't see no news on Trey signing. Yeah, I may have missed it. Maybe he did. I don't know. Silver. Now, if Lions get Z back, our optimism will skyrocket. But I would like to say to all fellow Lions fans, let's take it 1 week at a time. Let's enjoy it 1 week at a time. That's a good season. I'm down with that. Gary, the players that are out know the holdout game. It's the way to get attention for the situation. Yeah, it could be just that. So wait and see if he actually does hold out. Voltron, so small long, coach is in his 50s. Yes, correct with that. Stephanie, first time he coached me was back around 2005. Man, wasn't that long ago? And he has been coaching for a long time by then. Yeah. I started coaching in the early 90s? Something like that. Something like 1990, 91. I mean, somewhere around there. I don't know. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and Dooku. What a team. What a podcast. What time be a Lions fan. Woo! Good to see you, Henry. Hookadoo. I want a back. I've heard it's not money. It's the length of the contract. Okay. There you go. Thank you for that information. Kim, Brad always does due diligence on his, as he should. Other than AA starting, Hendrickson should get paid. The hype is from the media creating a quote story. Yeah, a lot of truth with that, Kim. We don't know, just filling the time. Yeah, especially this month. It's the slowest month of the year for NFL teams when it comes to news. So yeah, you're spot on with that, Kim. All right, Silver, so small long, coach is old, but he started super young. He couldn't stay still. No, I enjoyed coaching. Once I got a taste for it, I really enjoyed it. I love the figuring things out, trying to Scooby-Doo it all. Pat just made the team better. Pierre, just make the team better. I like the way you're thinking. Gary, Anzalone isn't going anywhere. He's the O. All right. Gary, Amy, everyone push the like and subscribe buttons. Go Lions. Woo! And thank you for that, Amy. Thank you very much. Gary, Anzalone isn't going anywhere. He's the epitome of what a Lion is. Hey, man, he's got the hair, don't he? Cynthia, good morning, all. Is to Anthony's point yesterday, as Lions fans, we need to pump the brakes on negativity. Correct with that, 100%. I like the way you're thinking. Evermore, I had the pleasure of working with an 87-year-old man who outlived his kids. Like Coach, he was always super busy, I'm assuming, and doing something. Yeah, just my nature, man. My mom she's almost 90 now. and still lives on her own, still mows her own lawn. I come over and so does my brother Tim and shovel her yard or driveway and sidewalk from time to time. But she still works like 3 or 4 different jobs. I mean, only a couple hours a week, still does a ton at church. I mean, just how she's wired. And I probably grew up watching her, which made me this way. Silver, I cannot see Anzalone somewhere else. He may have a monster season, but I can see him definitely take charge of that defense. I agree with that. Hookadoo, Sosmo, he parts dust. All right. Trim Reaper, what state should the Bucks relocate? Kansas. There you go. Steve Rogers, Alex needs a new deal. He's a Lion. I think most Lions fans would be real happy if he did get an extension. Johnny L, good morning. I am 63 today. Happy birthday, my friend. And just for your birthday, we'll give you a shout out 1, 2, and a 3. Civil Server and those who advocate Jack Campbell to take that inheritance, I'd say Lions should have picked Clay Clancy. No worries, man. Some people like Campbell, some people like Clancy. It happens. You can debate a lot of the picks. Robert, and back at you. Gary, I heard Robertson is on the bubble. Could be. Let's see. I would think Meek would be all right, though. So we'll find out, though. Anyway, happiest of birthdays, Johnny. I concur. Bo, happy birthday. King SJ, good morning, Coach and Dooku. Back at you. Silver, right, Carrie, epitome. There you go. Hey, one word I might get correct. Hookadoo, stupid spell check. Yes, dust, it happens. Central Scrutinizer, greetings, salutations, Coach and Dooku, one prime. Back at you. Jennifer, morning all, listening to the best. Hey, the Dooku is the best, aren't they? Taylor Made, what does new defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard have to say about all this? Question mark. He coached linebackers the last few years. From what I know, Taylor Made, and by the way, thank you for being here. It's been a hot minute. I just don't think he's affected by it until Alex really does miss something. So training camp, I just personally think it's not a big deal. Why, if you're Brad Holmes, you bring in Jermaine Pratt. I understand, GM, you want to make the team better, see if you can work out a deal. He's a great player, good at talent. Why wouldn't you want to bring him in? It makes everybody better, in my opinion. All right, Silver. Did AI just see a new introduction? Did I just see a new introduction? Yeah, what was it, a couple days ago? I put that up there. So, yeah, it's been up for a couple days now. Now start rotating it with the other ones. Chuck, good morning, Coach and Dooku. Back at you. Coach Rock, good morning, all. Just saying anyone can be replaced. You're not wrong there. Hookadoo. Happy birthday, Johnny. Johnny, thank you, folks. Jeff, Anzalone stinks is not good. I'll go with that. Hey, I like him, but, hey, some people don't. David, don't think AA will be back. Let's wait and see. Kurt the Hitman Steel, Professor Steel. What up, Duke Crew? What's up, man of Steel? Trim River, good morning, Professor Steel. Mary, good morning, Duke Crew and Lions fans. 88 more days, I think, but whatever it is, I'm ready for some football. I think we all are, man. I can't wait to go and watch some Lions games here, wherever, and just have a good time with it. Big D, AA doesn't deserve to be with this team anymore. not even playing his contract out. Cross the line for me. All right. Well, there you go. Cynthia Clark Griswold agreed. Vincent E. Good morning, Coach Dan and Duke crew. Silver Server Pratt had quite a few interceptions. He is 29, but he's going to want 3-year contract and not cheap. He has to learn everybody. Yeah, he'd have to learn everything we do here. He's a veteran, though. It should be a little bit easier to coach him up to speed. Hookadoo, good morning, Mary. I'm ready for some football also. I think we all are. Phil, good morning. Back at you. Trim Reaper, hope you have a great birthday, Johnny. Yeah, 100%, man. Go enjoy your birthday. Let's see, Detroit D, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you, D. Hopefully you're having a great start to your day. Vernon, Coach and Duke Crew. Coach, who do you think is the best for at linebacker and cornerback? Man, I don't think we're going to change our starting cornerbacks. Been wrong before. Same with the safeties. Linebacker, I'm assuming Alex Anzalone is going to play, so have him, Derek Barnes, and Jack Campbell, unless somebody just really beats them out in camp. I don't like to use the term starters because I think it produces complacency. I know over all the decades I've coached, I tell everybody, man, you earn the right to start in any sport in practice. Do a bunch of different stuff to make it difficult for people to constantly start. But if it's really important to you, you earn it. Let's see, Server. I know I'm not a big fan of Jack Campbell. I admit it, but I like the fellow, but I do not see a baller. I do not see a first-round pick, more of a third-rounder. Maybe he's like Hooker, slowly but surely. I like what I've seen out of him. I like the jump I saw from first year to second year, but could he do more? Absolutely. Who couldn't, though? Robert, morning, Duke Crew, and back at you, Robert. Don, I want to see what we have in Tesla and also Miles Frazier. I want to see them both. I want to see all the rookies, man. Michael, trade him and get a few picks for him at least. I wonder what you could get for him. I don't know if his value would be as high as most of us would like to desire it to be. Alex Anzalone's, that is. Okay, Williams equals beep beep. He is the Roadrunner. Martin, I see Vincent. Morton about to unleash JMO? I think so, 100%. Silver Server, Mary Smith, 88 is one of my favorite numbers. Anybody carries 88 in Detroit? I don't know if there's an 88 right now. Maybe there is. Lionel, Radiant Salutations, Duke, exclamation point. Going Enos, Lightning, and Thundercats. Ho! And back at you, Lionel. Good to see you, man. It's been a hot second. Xavier, good morning, Coach. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you, Silver Server. Hookadoo, laughing. Dre Dade from the one JMO hater, enjoying having him for the next 2 years. Afterwards, either we give him wide receiver money or lose St. Brown or JMO, get the number one wide receiver contract somewhere else. I wonder what they'll do. You know, I'll put it this way. I think next year's draft will be a big tell. Maybe Tesla is a tell towards it right now. I don't know. But if JMO has a real big year and we draft a wide receiver in round 1 or 2, it's probably a tell. One of those guys might be gone. Such a scrutinize. Silver 88 is retired. Charlie Sanders, thank you for that. Silver Surfer thumbs up says Hookadoo. Xavier, I think Hooker will be fine. Yeah, just give him some time. I want to see him in the preseason games. Don, it's so much untapped potential talent here. Makai Wingo, Tesla, Miles Frazier, Vaki, Rakestraw, Tyrion Arnold, Tyleek. Yes, I agree with that. And there's probably a lot of guys that we're not even considering. Michigan Panther Pride, good morning, Duke Crew. Back at you. Support our Panthers by turning in 8 p.m. Saturday, ABC, if you can go watch the party in Troy. There you go. There you go. And yeah, there's about 4 or 5 former Detroit Lions on that team. Central Scrutinizer, let's go Panthers, bring home the hardware, bring home the trophy. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. Kurt Steele, Trim River, good morning. Vincent E., if the money is right, brings these back. Let's hope they do. At least I'm hoping they do. How about that? Hookadoo, Panthers got this one. Oh, yeah. Trim Reaper, boss up, ball out this morning. We'll find out. Silver, Hutchinson's presence alone will bring an advantage to everyone on that line. Even without the sacks he will have. Just hope Lions fans don't think he's going to have 4 sacks a game. Keep pressure down. Hey, I doubt if it gets to Hutch or any pro athlete. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Lionel, I would love to hang around the team for a day. The vibes alone, it'd be fun, wouldn't it? Xavier, Zedarius is returning, question mark. I hope so because we need him. It's, if you go by what he said on everybody's different channels or whatever yesterday outlets, he did say the resigning would be soon. And that's a quote. Benjamin Brewer, Lions / Blondie will work something out. Smith / Lions will agree to a contract. Lions will win 10 games. All questions now answered. Let's just start the season. I'm down with that. I'm hoping for 10 or more wins. Hookadoo, I'm hoping he does come back. The Crunch Brothers, I think it would be a good one. David, Mark Walborn, the ex-con. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't realize he had ever been arrested, but who knows? Trim Reaper, a coach is a transformer. That's true, man. For those who don't know, for I guess even still nowadays, I do some acting, but it's like guy in the background, waiter bringing you something up, or just stuff like that. Dude standing in the background. Vincent E. Invincible. Yeah, that was a good movie. I like that one. Silver Coach, I have seen the picture of Mitchell Guye in team activities. By the look of his physique, he looks like an all-pro. He's got muscle where you didn't know there were any, and no fat. Hopefully he can do something. I know the coaches liked him last year. Let's hope he can do something this year. Trim Reaper in Conceivable. Yeah, hey, great reference to The Princess Bride. Moonscar Blade, I'm so quiet that quoting that movie up now and going frame by frame. Hey, there you go. Brandon, who is the starting linebacker visiting? So that would be Jermaine Pratt, by the way, who was just released yesterday from the Cincinnati Bengals. Kind of a surprise move. To me, it's kind of weird that they did it now, especially since he's a team captain and all. And I would think if you drafted players, you were going to go with those younger players, you would have done them a solid by letting him go sooner versus later. But the other part is you still have over a month until most teams' training camps open. He's got time to latch on with somebody. All right, Derek, Markey is about 9 too short to play. Yeah, you would have to do something there. I can't remember the name of the movie. It came out like in the last year. It was about the Von Erichs. And if you don't know 80s, 70s, maybe early 90s pro wrestling and not WWF or E, the Von Erichs were a legendary wrestling family down in the Texas area. Just huge tragedy. And I won't go through it. It's not really for the show. But some of the actors they employed to be the Von Erichs were like, 5'7", 5'8". And I was like, dude, those guys are like 6'2", 6'5", and big workout dudes. That's Hollywood though, right? Brandon's your mom. Okay. Brandon's I have Brock Lesnar played. Ooh, there you go, Dan Campbell. Lionel laughing out loud. Good to see you, Moonscar 100%. Trim Reaper shots fired. There you go. Wark. Everyone loves the Tesla pick pretty much immediately. At least everyone I've watched or talked to. Yeah, there were a couple of guys I know that did not like it. We'll go with that. David, Tesla is homegrown and approved Michigan wheat. All right, fair enough. Moonscar, thanks, Lionel. Silver Surfer. All right, Wahlberg is on the wagon. You can't act, but we'll take you anyways because we are so good. Hey, there you go. Pierce, why is Davenport driving away Anzalone? That's a good question. Braden, this contract stuff is Bob problem to solve. There you go. Brad Holmes problem to solve. There you go. Don Burr, Pierce, what do you mean? Question mark. Davenport driving him away? Let's hope not. I think Don, what is being said is DDI. Davenport did it or whatever. Let's see. Carrie, Silver Surfer laughing. Yeah, Dre Day DDI. There you go. Pierce, Don Burr, I've been doing a running joke of blaming Davenport for everything. All right. Pierce, because it's his fault. Lionel Davenport, dang it, Port. There we go. John, thank you. Johnson, Pierce, Don Burr, we have to come up with DDI. Davenport did it. Correct with that. Mary, Silver Surfer, I was saying 88 more days before football season. Okay. Don Burr, okay, laughing out loud. Hope you blame him for us having a top 5 defensive line. I'm down with that. Michigan Panther Pride, good morning, Kurt. Good morning, boss. Short member Davenport made Barry Sanders and Kelvin Johnson return. Could be true. Gary Wahlberg, 8P, Silver Surfer. Again, after you are done praying for world peace, say one for Davenport. If he stays healthy again, huge if. Lions are going to be terrific or going to terrify offenses. Davenport is a pit bull heavy behind. There you go. Vincent E. Pratt is a solid linebacker. Yeah, he is. And I don't know enough about him to have a big opinion, but from just the stats, the fact that he got a captaincy, that speaks volumes to me from a team. Your teammate said you are one of the guys leading us. All right, Pierce, Don Burr, in spite of him, we do. I get why Brad Holmes brought him back, but we could have done better, in your opinion. Nothing wrong with that. Sutton Scrutinizer, DDW, designated dead weight. All right. Pierce, Don Burr, I also think Ahmed will be the starter by year's end. Could be, man. I know everybody's liking the kid. Let's see how he does. Don Burr, Pierce, I'm with you, but if we get Zedarius, the rotation would be nice. Yeah, I think that'd be a real nice rotation on the defense line. Center Scrutinizer, Davenport, I still have hope for him. Don Burr waiting for Z to sign the Don line. Let's hope so. Brandon, I love Alex Anzalone, but he's perfect for Detroit and has great leadership qualities. I'll go with that. Dr. Detroit Davenport, I hope you can finish the game. I hope so too. Lionel AA is a 7. Hey, there you go. Dr. Detroit Anzalone is decent, but next, okay. Don Burr, finish a game. Good one, Doctor. Hey, it would be good if he could finish a lot of games. Kerry Wahlberg is a Patty fan and can't act. I do not respect him at all. Fair enough. Yeah, he is, I think, a Pats fan first, Lions fan afterwards. Xavier, Alex is a 9, and we definitely need him. Let's hope we can keep him. Dre Day, I wish Lions fans are more like Cowboys fans. The rest of the fan base hates them, but no matter how bad they are, they always think their team is going to win the Super Bowl. 100%. Yeah, they got that belief every season. Sir, I don't understand somebody from Boston becoming a Lions fan. Your team is the Patriots. They are his first team is the Patriots. He also roots for the Lions. Now, I would understand somebody from Nigeria or Germany, Japan picking Detroit because they got no team. Fair enough. Pierce, it's time for Captain Jack to man the middle. I loved what he did with the green dot when Anzalone went down. Yeah, I thought he did develop, showed some good things, and with a busted hip. Trim Reaper, if he stays healthy, Davenport will have a career year, in your opinion. I like that. New money, low 5, very mid, irreplaceable. Correct with that. Phil, Anzalone is blowing his chances by staying with the team by taking to social media. That's a full stop for the Lions. I agree with that. Dr. Troy, if my aunt had a set of cojones, I'll go with that. Don Burr, Alex needs to be a team player. Dude, we need you, but definitely help revive your career, buddy. Yes, I think you could say that the Lions did him a solid by constantly resigning him. The coaching staff knew him, obviously, from being in New Orleans, but he was not widely sought after by most other teams, that I'm aware of at least. Until then, what if all the media has been making a mountain out of a molehill out of this Alex Anzalone story, and they were laughing at us all? I don't think they're laughing at us. They're trying to produce content. Now, whether we can all have our debates if they should be making or not making or whatever. But I would say this. I don't think the front office of the Detroit Lions nor the coaching staff pays really much attention to the media at all as far as what their decisions are going to be. Vincent E. Davenport, under 3 games played. We'll find out. Trim Reaper is laughing. Coach, this sounds like you don't make Brad Holmes mad. He can and will find a replacement. Yeah, Coach. It's part of coaching. It's part of being a GM. You're always looking for that next one. Let's see, Pierce Stomber. I am ready to trade Alex Anzalone. Okay. Pierce Stomber, again, Captain Jack did a great job with the green dot. Dr. Detroit, we just don't need this distraction. Guys who just want to get paid need to bounce. All right. Kerry Xavier, 100% agreed. Don, play your contract out and discuss extensions after you're on the back end of your career, buddy. Seriously. Okay. We got about 2 minutes left, so I'm going to kind of power through, look for people who haven't been on as much. Carl Pratt would be a nice pickup. I agree with that. Lions within question, Coach, have you ever farted on air live during the show? Not that I'm aware of, but anything's possible, right? Vincent E. laughing, reversion to the mean. Social media is the new player contract negotiation process. Players now take it to the court of public opinion. I'm down with that. Moodscar Blade, every time the salary cap goes up, the greedy top guys still under large contracts with a couple years left want more. Myles Garrett, and then others start to follow instead of spreading that money. Correct with that. Wow, yeah, 100% with that. Josh, trade for Pratt to Detroit next. He's a free agent now, so we would just have to sign him if we wanted to get him. I go Anzalone acting like he's the best player in the Lions team when he, in reality, he isn't. Okay. Dunzo Pierce. Okay. Looking for other people I met on Dre Day. Jared outperformed his contract and is getting asked for a restructure. Might be true. Yeah, we'll see if that happens in time. Michigan Panther Brian, I think Zeke comes back. I do too. Derek, I think they overpaid for Barnes. Yeah, I was a little surprised by the contract, but I'm going to trust on Brad Holmes right now. Here's Johnny. Here's to San and the Duke. How about Dan and the Duke crew? Exclamation point. I got you, Johnny. Yeah, I hope you all have an awesome Wednesday traveling for work and making the live show. Woo! Go Lions. Good to see you, my friend, as always. The Lions bad guy. Good morning, Lions fans. I hope to God Brad signs Z Smith. The man's begging to be a Lion. Says he takes less money. We'll find out. I have no idea what the contract offer is that they put in front of him. D13, Hickson did not sign a contract, not sign an extension or a new deal. That's what I thought, but hey, thanks for clarifying because maybe I missed something. Kerry, did Davenport really cause all this? I don't think so, but who knows, man. Johnny Gaz, good morning. Dan and Dooku, have a great hump day. Exclamation point. Back at you, my friend. Hopefully you're a phenomenal day. David, happy birthday to you, Johnny. Bo, Johnny is a gas. I'm down with that. Gary, morning, gas man. Pierce, Don Burr, a lot of them late in the season. Yeah, it happens, man. Sometimes things happen later in the season. Jess, I'm late today, but I said it in the beginning. I think Zverev has a handshake deal to show up at camp. He does not need OTAs or BS. Yeah, I agree with him. He's been in the league long enough. He probably really doesn't need that stuff too much. Till then, the Lions waiting for until they cut Broderick Martin to resign Zadarius Smith. Heard it here first. All right, I'll hold you to that. Robert, sign Pratt. I think they will, man. In time. Hookadoo. Happy Trails, Duke Crew. One Pride Worldwide. Back at you, my friend. Trim River. Have a great day, Coach and Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Woo! Brett, happy birthday, Johnny. Central Scrutinizer. Boy, I'm going to kill that one, so I'm going to move on. Hasta mañana. There you go. Hasta mañana. There you go, Central Scrutinizer. Carrie, happy trails. Happy hump day. Stay safe. Have a great day, one. The Rolling Stones. There you go, David. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before checking out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Take care. Have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being. And we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until